started. Top 10 tours 2013. We went to a lot of shows. We went to a lot of great shows. Some tours that just didn't make the cut. There's some tours we didn't go to. So if it's not on here, let us know. So this is our 10 tours. What's your number 10?
Number 10, I have the Trivium and Devil Driver tour that was just going around more recently. This quick asterisk, all of these tours are good. Like, I didn't go to a single bad tour this year. She said, again, some are just better than others. And for Trivium, like, Trivium themselves put on, a really great show. Well, when we saw them, it was great. But then my only real problem with it was the fact that, after the burial was cool, but then I really didn't care for anybody else that was there. So, I was kind of just paying the $23 or however much it was to just go see Trivium, but have to wait through other bands. So that was the only problem. It was still cool, and the Trivium, like I said, did phenomenally, but it was just for them, and even it kind of, no matter how good you play, if I'm just there for you, it's kind of bad. So Trivium was my number 10.
I had Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, and Testament. It's my number 10. This tour was fucking phenomenal. Even though I've seen these bands, when I saw them here, it was all the fourth time I've seen all those bands. I just could not pass up seeing all three same night. And I swear, I would see Killswitch Engage 40 million times and still never be tired of them. They put on one of the best live shows I think I've ever been to. They're just so freaking good, and they're entertaining to watch. Lamb of God that night was fantastic as well. Same with Testament. I think Huntress played, but who the fuck cares? So, moving on. Number 9.
Number 9, I had the Dark Roots of Thrash tour, which was Testament, Overkill, Flotsam and Jetsam, and Forearm. Yeah, all the bands did really, really good this tour. Testament was loud, kind of as always. Overkill was a fun band to see live, and it was at the Troc. It was my first time at the Troc, so it was just really fun. The only band I didn't like necessarily was Forearm, but Flotsam and Jetsam to see like one of the original, basically seeing a tour full of like some of the original guys who were part of thrash is just really, really cool, and they all killed it in my opinion. Overkill's to me is like one of those bands I'd see multiple times over and over again. It's just so much fun. Same with Testament. It's just a fun show. So that was my number 9.
Number 9, I had Trivium Devil Driver after the burial. This tour, I ended up going to this tour twice. Once when Silosis was supposed to open, but they got in a bus crash and couldn't be there. The other time, That Will Be Done opened. Both times were phenomenal. It was great seeing After the Burial twice. I love that band. It was amazing seeing Trivium twice, especially playing Shogun. And their set list both times were just awesome. They were spot on. They just like Killswitch Engage. They're another band that I could see 50,000 times and just never be sick of them. Never be like, oh, Trivium's coming around. I think I'll wait. See him next time. I love seeing Trivium live. They're just so tight. Seeing Devil Driver twice was terrible though. Way too much hard ass up on stage at once. I just don't like Devil Driver. Can't get it to him.
My number 8, I had this year's Rockstars Mayhem Festival. All in all, like I said, it was a great show, and Mayhem Festival's always fun. It's my second year going, and so I was no longer a virgin, so I kind of was prepared this time around. And bands like Battlecross was there, Job for Cowboy, Machine Head, of course, Amon Amarth, Five Finger Death Punch, Rob Zombie, Mastodon. There was just a lot of really good bands, and it was for 10 hours of metal, and it's just awesome. I went up and I got stuff signed, Amon Amarth and Battlecross, and it was just really fun. Again, as always with a lot of tours, there was a couple bands. Born of Osiris, didn't care. Immure, really didn't care. But I had a blast this year, and yeah, so it was just really fun. Rob Zombie puts on a hell of a live show, and that was one of the big things about it. And finally to see him on Marth was awesome. First time on the big tour that I've seen them. So yeah.
Number 8, I had Testament, Overkill, Flotsam and Jetsam, Forearm, Dark Roots of Thrash. And yeah, this was a very thrashy night. Very fun show. Yeah, I think this was the second show I went to all year, and it was phenomenal. Excuse me. Testament was really, really good. I mean, that was definitely the best time I seen Testament. They played for a really long time, and they played a monster set of just thrashy jams. Overkill was, Overkill. They kick ass live. Flotsam and Jetsam was good. They made me go check out their older shit. I want to listen to it more, but I mean, Doomsday Machine, I think it's called, or something. I don't know. The one album from 1986 that they have is just thrashy as shit. I love it. Forearm was just about as exciting as their band name. So yeah, that was a great tour though.
Number 7, I have Death Angels. Was it The Dream Calls for Blood? Was that the name of the tour? Or
Something like that.
Something like it. And at the Mojo 13, which is small venue, which I think made this show twice as good.
Mm-hmm.
I really was not unhappy with any of the bands over there. The 4 local bands were all like really good in their own way, in their own shape and form. And then seeing Diamond Plate, and in my opinion, one of the thrashiest, new thrash metal bands was awesome. And actually getting to talk to a couple of the guys in that band.
Yeah.
Battlecross. It's awesome. The second time I saw him at Mayhem, and I saw him this time. It was just, they fit that kind of venue, a small venue. That's where they shine. I feel like they were good at Mayhem, but I feel like they were better here. Seeing Revocation was awesome, and also just kind of mind blowing at the same time. Just how wicked all of their shit is with that band, and just like how crazy some of the people got. Like that place. That was when that place really, really started to get packed.
Yeah.
And then 3 Inches of Blood was good. I mean, looking back on it and checking on them afterwards, they did good. I enjoyed their stuff. It just happened to be, they were right before Death Angel, so I was just kind of like, I want to see Death Angel. It's kind of like that second to last band syndrome. You're just like, just go so I can see the headliner. But they did good in their own right. And then Death Angel was phenomenal. Second time I've seen them since, seeing with Anthrax and Testament. But, like, they played all kinds of new stuff. They played all kinds of old stuff. And, again, they're one of those bands that they feel like that kind of setting fits them perfectly. Small venues, not, like, huge. I couldn't see them playing at the Wells Fargo Center. I just don't think it would work at all for them. But then this fits perfectly for them. And it was awesome. They played... they played Relentless Revolution, Dream Calls for Blood, Sonic Beatdown. That was the song I was trying to think of. Just all kinds of great songs. All in all, great tour.
Sonic Queef Down. Number 7, I had Killswitch Engage's Disarm the Descent tour with them, of course, headlining. And there was Miss May I, Darkest Hour, The Word Alive, and Affiance. Affiance really shocked me. I didn't expect anything from them. They're a great band, and I think the record that they put out last year, I forget what it's called, but it is really, really good. Good metalcore that, there's not a lot of screen vocals. It's all, great singing throughout. Very, very cool opening to that show. The Word Alive tried to be hard asses and cool, but I remember, because As I Lay Dying was supposed to be on this tour, but we all know what happened to Tim Lambesis and As I Lay Dying. And so Darkest Hour and The Word Alive replaced As I Lay Dying. And I remember The Word Alive played 94 Hours from As I Lay Dying. And I mean, they did it okay. I just felt that they were really out of place, because the rest of these bands on here are metal, and these guys are like half metal. I don't know. It's just weird. Miss May I destroyed. I used to be really into this band. I kind of lost interest, and I mean they're okay, but they're so much better live than studio. Like like they had that entire place going. They had a big presence that the previous 2 times I saw them before they just did not have, and they lacked. And just they were seriously great. Darkest Hour was Darkest Hour. They can be a snooze fest sometimes live. I can never really get into them live as much as I do like that band. And then Killswitch Engage, that might have been the best time I've seen them. They played 18 songs that night. It was incredible. Like, if name a song that they have that you wanted to hear live, and they probably fucking played it. They played over half of the new album. They played all the old shit with Howard Jones. They played a fuckload off of Alive or Just Breathing. They killed it at that show. Phenomenal tour, man.
Number 6, I have Lynyrd Skynyrd and Bad Company with their 40th anniversary tour. Also had Black Stone Cherry. I miss Black Stone Cherry. You know, I'm kind of sad, but then at the same time, I mean, I was really going to see Skynyrd and Bad Company, so it didn't hurt my feelings too much. But seeing, 2 rock and roll legends live was just amazing. Skynyrd, I've been a Skynyrd fan since they were probably the first band that I really loved. And so seeing, all the old classics, seeing Simple Man, Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, Call Me the Breeze, Saturday Night Special, I can go on and on. Like, basically their biggest songs they played. And, again, seeing Freebird live, I think, is something that everybody should have on their bucket list, because it's just awesome. And it is awesome live. Because they went on for an extra 5 or 6 minutes of solos, and it was just awesome. They had a disco ball come down.
Was it 20 minutes long?
It was 20 minutes long. But it was awesome. And then Bad Company came on, and I knew a couple songs of Bad Company, but I really didn't know that I knew as many Bad Company songs as I did. It was weird. They played Shooting Star, which is arguably, I think, is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Just literally, I'm almost positive, except for a handful of people, nobody wasn't singing along to that song toward the end. The band stopped with just the drums going and just let the crowd sing. I'm just wow. I don't think I've ever seen that much participation in a song. Of course, they played Bad Company. It was the first time, and I saw it in 2 days because I saw Five Finger Death Punch 2 days later. But they played Feel Like Making Love, Ready for Love. Just a great show. The only thing was, I wish Skynyrd would have closed so that Freebird would have been the closing number, which would have been really appropriate. But it was still really fun. Great tour. Great tour.
What did I have at number 6? Why don't I look at Mayhem 2013. That's what I had. Mayhem Festival it's great every year. This was my 4th year going, and I really don't see myself not going, ever. I mean, even if there's just a few bands that I wanted to see, it's the experience that this festival gives you that is just unmatched by anything out there. It was great. I mean, Amon Amarth was phenomenal. Machine Head was great. Rob Zombie was really good too. Mastodon was good. Five Finger Death Punch was okay, but I was just surprised about how many people that they got into them. It was just incredible. I mean, we met Amon Amarth. Right there alone is worth admission. And for, like he said, 10, 11 hours of metal for 20-something dollars. You can't beat that. You really cannot. I mean, there was a lot of other good bands. Battlecross, first time seeing them. Now, Born of Osiris, I watched for a couple, and I was breakdowns. But I gotta piss. Come back. I was breakdowns. Ha ha. And you could hear the breakdowns and the pissers because they have it mic'd up. It was just constant breakdowns. You wherever you went. But whatever. There was other bands though on that I just didn't give two fucks about. Butcher Babies, Motionless in White and Mirror.
Huntress.
The local bands. Huntress was
Yeah.
They need to get rid of that chick. That's just me. But yeah, Mayhem was great, and I'm looking forward next year for shiz.
Number 5, I have Creator Overkill Warbringer. Again, for the Legends of Thrash tour, I think it was.
Did you?
Yeah, you know.
I'm not going to stop.
This was one of the more fun things. This was part of, a week of thrash metal, which was awesome. And I just, really, it was my first time seeing Warbringer and Creator, two kind of monsters in thrash, in my opinion. And it's my second time seeing Overkill. And it was just really fun. Again, at the Troc, I guess I'll see Overkill every time they come to the Troc, because, why not? I'll keep it the same venue every time I see the band.
That's the only place they play. I've seen them 3 times, and they've only played the Troc.
So. Wow. But, yeah, Warbringer was okay. They played a lot of stuff from their new album, but it was, like as I said in the review, go watch it. I don't really care too much for this album. It's not bad, but it's not my thing. But they played Living Weapon and Combat Shock and Severed Reality and all kinds of great songs like that. And it was really fun. And then Creator came on, and it was just like Creator just killed it. Playing Phantom Antichrist, all kinds of songs from the new album, Death to the World, United in Hate, all kinds of from Flood into Fire, and then even some of like the old stuff with what's that one? The one album that
Pleasure to Kill,
and then like
Riot of Violence. That was incredible.
Riot of Violence, and like they played just all kinds of really, really good stuff. And it was just fun. And then Overkill, this is honestly, again, I've seen them twice, so this really doesn't hold that much weight. This is the best time I've seen them. They put on such a good set, and everybody got into it. And, all the songs you want to hear. Electric Rattlesnake, Elimination, We Don't Care What You Say, Fuck You, Necroshine, which was really, really cool. It's probably my favorite song of the night. And, just killed it. That band just is awesome. So much sex appeal. So much thrash.
Mm-hmm.
Again, great show.
Number 5, I was able to cross a band off my bucket list, and that was Black Sabbath. Holy fuck. They seriously put on an incredible show. It was just 2 hours of great shit. Hearing, like, all the old classics, from, the Ozzy era of Sabbath was just phenomenal. Ozzy's cool to see live. I've seen him in his solo band. I've seen him with Black Sabbath, and every time he's just one of the most entertaining motherfuckers. And he really repeats himself a lot. Like he forgets what he just said, and he bounces around. And he'll take the mic and walk 2 steps and then put it back.
I can't fucking hear you.
He said that about 15 times, probably more than that. But hearing stuff like War Pigs, that guitar line, and hearing the entire arena just singing that was just so cool. And they sounded just heavy, they sounded very modern, they just kicked ass. And it was definitely worth the price of admission. If you're a metal fan, Black Sabbath just has to be on your bucket list to see. I don't understand why it wouldn't be. Yeah, incredible.
Number 4, I had Black Sabbath.
Oh.
Same show. Tyler hit a lot of it. It was just awesome to see Sabbath. They played basically all the songs that I would want to hear off of their new album, but then kind of knowing what people were really there for, they played all kinds of old stuff. Fairies Wear Boots, Iron Man, Children of the Grave, Paranoid, like Tyler said, War Pigs.
Even the new stuff, like Age of Reason, God is Dead, End of the Beginning, just was great.
Fucking, I think probably my favorite thing from that night was the actual, Black Sabbath, the song. It was just
evil.
Oh, yes.
And it had, the red lights going on,
so great, The only downer of this show was having Mr. Fuckface open as a DJ. I don't even know.
Andrew WK. Yeah, that was fucking retarded.
And he played good stuff, but I'm like, we could have had more Sabbath. Come on.
He could have either had a actual band play or had more Sabbath. That was stupid as fuck.
But it was great. You know, again, bucket list. Black Sabbath. I'd see them again. You know.
Yeah.
They're just so legendary. I would literally see them every time they come around. So just an awesome show.
They are going on tour again in early 2014, but nowhere around us, sadly. But they're coming around you. You better go see them.
Yeah.
Number 4. About to start. Weekend thrash. Holy fuck. I've never been thrashed out so hard in my life in 2 days. Death Angel, 3 Inches of Blood, Revocation, Battlecross, Diamond Plate, and a bunch of other local bands. The locals were actually all decent, like Danatonic Desire. That was just... It felt like such a special night. And I feel it's, like Keith said, because of that venue. Like, hanging out with Conrad from Diamond Plate, like, on multiple occasions that night was incredible. It was just so cool seeing all those bands in a venue that can probably hold 200 people max. It was just so cool. I mean, being just like right up in front of the stage or something like that. Death Angel was phenomenal. They played a lot of new stuff. I wish they would have played, spread it out a little bit more across their career. But I mean, their songs were still really tight. They felt very, thankful that everyone was there. It's just, Death Angel is an incredible live band. They just have much more energy to them live than they do, and they have much more ass to them. Like, Mark just sounds much more ferocious when he sings live than on the studio. Revocation was twisted and fucked up and energy out the balls. Revocation was phenomenal, just like they always are. Diamond Plate was very ferocious. They're these very nice dudes, and then they're just like death up on stage. You just feel like you're gonna die.
I like the little switch because it was one of the favorite things about that was Conrad. Waiting to play. He just kind of like, just kind of stands there, and then he just goes nuts once they start. I was like,
just jumping in the crowd. They played everything about twice the speed that it's supposed to be played. It was great. Battlecross was one of the better bands of the night too. I remember he just kept going, holy fuck, we're in Delaware. Like, just because of the energy in the room of the crowd was just great. 3 Inches of Blood was okay, but they were just, like, I was really tired. Man.
Wanting to see
because, so that was my number 4. Great tour.
My number 3, I have Winter Sun. This, this one was, for a while, number 2. But this show was just awesome. The opening bands, we missed
Starkill.
Did we miss Starkill or?
Yeah, we missed Starkill,
and then the other one was.
We saw Arsis.
And then Flesh God Apocalypse. They were good, but Flesh God Apocalypse, tremolo picking, epic, scream vocals, opera, there. It was kind of what I expected. It didn't blow me away. But Winter Sun, who I was there to see, is arguably one of the best live performances I've ever seen. That band is just so much talent, and it was just really, really cool to just see literally all of their new album, Time One, in its entirety. And then to see lots of the stuff from the first album, which is really cool. Everybody was into it, and they would just look like they were having fun up there, you see bands that are just like, I'm going to play and I'm going to be professional. And then you see bands that are like, if I'm going to do this every night, I'm going to have fun with it. And that's kind of what this was. And, it was just awesome. Yari was amazing. Everybody in that band is amazing. Like, it sounded flawless and exactly like the studio, if not better. This was just great. And this was honestly, in my opinion, like probably the best show of the summer, easily, in my opinion.
Yeah. Number 3, I had the Legends of Thrash Tour, Overkill Creator Warbringer. I'm not going to go on too much longer because I agree with everything Keith said. This was by far the best Overkill performance I've ever seen. Like, it was so cool because they spiced up their set. They played a lot of stuff that I did not expect them to play, and hearing those songs were incredible. Like Necroshime, Deny the Cross, Hammerhead, Overkill, the song, first one, out of like 5, 8, I don't even know. Who fucking knows? Like, stuff like that. Finally seeing Creator was amazing. Hearing stuff from Fanny Antichrist, hearing, songs like Phobia or Riot of Violence. Like, the old 80s stuff just made me, hearing it live made me appreciate it that much more. And Warbringer, they were cool to see. I want to see them again. I want to see them in a small venue, though. I feel like they would just be destructive in, like, the Mojo 13 or something.
God.
They would be crazy. But, I mean, they were good. So, if you want more of what I think, just go watch Keith's Part again.
Just hit rewind. Number 2, I have the Lost Christmas Eve Trans-Siberian Orchestra from this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people were like, well, because I just saw it last night. You'd be like, oh, you just saw it last night. Of course you're going to think it's the greatest show ever. I think this show is hold up. Like, I sat down, I've been thinking about it, like, just because I knew we were making this. I was like, is this really my number 2? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yes. Everything about it was awesome. It sounded exactly like studio stuff, if not better. They played any and all songs you'd want to hear from the Lost Christmas Eve and throughout their career. The lighting is easily the best light show ever. Mm-hmm. Every single person in that band is talented. There is not one, like, weak link or, just untalented or just mediocre person in that band. They are all phenomenally talented, and it's just a great show. Seeing them, at the Wells Fargo Center and this huge thing, and just the antics, just these guys that are like, I'm this good. I'm going to skip around and just, have fun on stage. It's just awesome. And, seeing songs like Mad Russian Christmas, Wizards in Winter, Christmas Eve Sarajevo, Christmas Cannon Rock is just awesome. I mean, I would honestly, again, with any of the bands really, like especially the headliners, I'd see this band, every time they come around. Honestly, and it'd be worth the price.
Number 2, I had Winter Sun, Flesh God Apocalypse, Arsis. Even though we missed Starkill. Starkill was there. Well, we missed Starkill because the fucking tickets said, like, doors at 7.
And it were like 6:30.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I blame that on the ticket, which, that was just weird. Basically, this tour is number 2 because of Winter Sun. Flesh God Apocalypse was okay. I remember, they had this opera singer, and you couldn't hear a fucking thing from her. And if you could have, it would have made it that much better. It was just kind of like their records. They have terrible mixes. But whatever. I mean, they got better as they went on. And some of the songs like Minotaur or something were pretty cool to hear live. They were okay. Arsis was cool. They were technical. They were heavy. But Arsis is always one of those bands like, man, I need to listen to them, check them out, see if I dig their albums. But I always kind of forget about them. That's just me. I will someday, don't worry. But Winter Sun. Winter Sun, to me, this is like the epitome of this is the definition of a flawless performance. It seriously was. Like, every note in the solos from, Time or Death and the Healing, it was just great. Or hearing the whole crowd singing Death and the Healing's chorus just gave me chills. It was so cool. Hearing all of Time was incredible. Just constantly seeing Yari smile just made me smile. It made me, enjoy it that much more. Like, they all were just so into it. Their other guitarist is sexy as hell. It's just, you listen to Winter Sun, you're like, wow. This band is incredible. They're talented. This is some of the best stuff I've ever heard. And then you go see them live, and you appreciate it that much more. And that's really what happened. And it was just, they're Winter Sun. I mean, I felt like I was never going to ever see this band, and they were never going to, tour North America and come around here. And they did, and it was, I literally bought my tickets the day it went on sale because I'm like, I'm not missing this. I don't care what happens that day. I'm not missing Winter Sun, man. But they were seriously good. And they played almost every song that they had, minus like 3 songs or something. No, they played Star Child. One, but still, I'm thinking Battle Against Time. No. I don't fucking know.
They just play because you have 13 songs. It's hard to not play all of them.
Yeah, they played 10 songs. I forget the 3 that they didn't play. So yeah, what's number 1?
Number 1, Metal Alliance, 2013, with Anthrax headlining and other bands. Exodus, Municipal Waste, Shadows Fall, Holy Grail. I think I saw it was there.
Yep.
Just a great show at the Fillmore. This show was what got me into Holy Grail. Seeing them, I got blown away. Very rarely do you see the opening act almost steal the show. Like, it was just like, wow. Oh my god, just the band's pure talent, especially with the dual sweeping guitar solo harmonies. It's awesome. And I mean, they just did a great show. And I mean, I saw them twice at a smaller show earlier in the year, but I feel like even though they played more there, this is honestly the better performance, just because the sound quality was mixed much better here. Shadows Fall, it was really cool to see Shadows Fall live. It was just because they're Shadows Fall. They played, Dying Light, or yeah, I think that's a song. They played, and then The King of Nothing, War, every song you'd want to hear from this band, and they were awesome. The singer, I think his name's Brian, right? The only thing was like his voice, I could tell, was starting to go part of the way through the set. But then, I mean, other than that, it was just a great performance. A great follow up to Holy Grail, and a great progression through the thing. Municipal Waste, party thrash. This song's about a shark. It's going to titty fuck you in your soul. Things like that. This band was just fun to see live. I mean, are they the band I'd see every time they see them live? No. Is this a band that I'd listen to their records? No. But live, they're just fun. Exodus, Exodus, Evil, Dark. They played Toxic Waltz, which is awesome. And, again, another instance of really, really scary pits. And like, no.
Yeah, they were pretty violent.
And then headliner Anthrax, third time I've seen them. Anthrax is just the most fun band to see live. Like, they might not be the most technical and have, like, Winter Sun amount of skill or thing, but it's just fun. They're the only band I really mosh to every time I see them. The only band. They played Among the Living in its entirety, which was just awesome. They played TNT, which was also just, again, awesome. And they played, anything that you'd want to hear. They played In the End, Antisocial, Got the Time, Madhouse, literally just about anything you'd want to hear. And it's just a great, phenomenal show. They sound flawless. If they sound better than any time I had ever seen them. This is the best they played. And, just the fact that all these great bands, which is something that I think that a lot of the other tours I've seen didn't have. Just every band was just awesome, and that's why this tour was number 1.
Number 1, I had the Metal Alliance tour as well. And now, Anthrax played Among the Living in its entirety. And if that's not number 1 or worth the price of admission, I really don't know what is. That right there was just so awesome to hear. It was so cool to hear, those other songs that they just don't really play, like Imitation of Life.
Skeletons in the Closet.
Yeah, or A Nice Fucking Life.
One World.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever that song's called.
Ifon Fast NFL.
Yeah, that's all I know it has is NFL. That was phenomenal. Then they played so many other songs. They played Madhouse, Antisocial, TNT. That was so cool. And it's not like they just played part of it. They played the whole fucking thing. That was so cool. And I just, Anthrax takes a room full of 2,000, 3,000 people and they shrink it down to like that. And it feels so almost personal and so cool. It's the only band, this is the only time I ever moshed all year. I'm not one to really do much moshing, but it's Anthrax and I'm just like, I want to skip around. And when they played Indians, that place went fucking crazy. And it was really, really good. And Holy Grail floored me. I was just like, what? Like, what am I watching? Why did I not know this band before? And glad I saw them. Shadows Fall was good. Municipal Waste was hilarious. lots of costumes, lots of circle pits, and Exodus. Finally seeing Exodus was great as well. They were just evil. They were just heavy as fuck, dude. Heavy as fuck. They really were. Like, seeing, people like Gary Holt or, fuck, I forget the other guy. The other guitar player. But, it's just, they were really good. And hearing, like, those old classic Bonded by Blood, Toxic Waltz, Lesson of Violence, War is My Shepherd, stuff like that was just great. Exodus, Annihilated. But this whole tour was so metal, and it just took some of the best metal bands out there, threw them all in one, on the same tour. It was just like, yes, it was just amazing. That's why it's number one for me, mostly because of Anthrax. But all those other bands were just great bonuses. So that's our number one tour. 2013.
Woo.
Went to a lot of shows. I just want to give shout outs to Summer Slaughter. 2013 was great. Opeth and Catatonia's tour was great. And the Black Dahlia Murder Skeleton Witch Fallujah tour was great. Every tour I went to this year was great. It's just these are the 10 that stuck out to us the most. And there's lots of tours that we're planning on going to already next year that I just see being on the end of the year list for 2014. Primal Fear. Monomarth.
Iced Earth.
Yeah, I
Probably next year's Mayhem.
Actually. Yeah. I'm really stoked. I want to try to go see Children of Bodom and Death Angel and Tear. There's another one, though. Oh, Dark Tranquillity and Omnium Gatherum. I'm fucking so excited for that. There's a couple other ones I'm going to try to go to. I'm not fully sure yet, like Alter Bridge, Dream Theater, Nile. I feel like there's one more, but I forget. But my number one most anticipated tour is fucking Carcass. Carcass, the Black Dahlia Murder, Gore Guts. Oh my god, that's going to be incredible. And evil, just...
Yeah. I'd probably have to say Primal Fear is my most anticipated one for next year. Just because it's Primal Fear, and it's just...
Yeah.
Yes!
There's going to be lots of good tours. So, stick around. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.